Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Consistently Rolling Show. I am consistent.
Uh, all right, this is N Lil. What's up?
Hi. Today we have a topic of time difference. It's generally about a lot of things. And Lil, would you like to come in with our disclaimer today?
Yeah, time difference. Oh, so yeah, we're gonna be talking about you know, parenting and kids, then and now. You know, the way society is. Um, there's a few other topics to talk about. There's a few topics I definitely want to talk about, but yeah, I guess that was it. You lost
No
me.
disclaimer? No disclaimer.
No, there's no disclaimer.
So I'll put the disclaimer out here. These are all of just our opinions. We do research on things. We get opinions from
Yep,
others. We would welcome you guys' opinions, facts, questions, whatever it is that you have. If we have the information, we are more than willing to share it to you. But please
that's right.
do not judge us on our hearts. This is strictly our opinions only. Thank you very much.
All right, do your own research.
Yeah, that too. Okay, where would you like to start, Enlil?
Oh, so what are we going to talk about today? What are the topics here? Are we going to
So
start with the missing kids, missing exploiting kids?
yeah, how about that? So I was reading an article that was talking about how there are so many missing kids in the world today, but the problem is they don't get advertised like they once used to. Nobody hears about it, nobody talks about it. They're not on the milk carton. They're not even on the news that these people watch each and every day. And for me, I feel like that's a problem. And I'm trying to figure out what is it or how is it that we can make awareness to this besides us trying to go to the police office every single day to see who's missing on a daily basis.
Right, exactly. I do believe they have some type of some website stuff, but then again, websites are not publicized. We don't know anything about the missing kids. I've did some early researching on um, missing children as well as adults, um, just alone in the United States, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people go missing. But what intrigued my interest, only that the kids were missing, what intrigued my interest in missing kids and missing adults, is that the stipulation that surrounds their missing cases. I often refer this ex detective police officer and now a book writer, and he also investigates hundreds of thousands, if not more, of missing cases. He particularly investigates certain type of missing cases. His name is David Paulides. He has a book as well as a short film called The Missing 411. So you guys can look him up on the YouTube. He has a Facebook, Twitter account, and everything. He talks about missing kids and the strange events that surround their missing. Like, for instance, most of our national parks and the recreational police or federal agencies that run these parks do not talk about put out there that about these missing cases, but they do have a list that is not publicized. You have to ask for it. In some cases, you have to pay for it. And some of the cases surround that. For instance, there's some parents who are in the park with their kids, and they turn it back for 2 seconds. The kids are no more than 2 feet away from them, and pop, the kid is gone in front of everybody, broad daylight. And some kids are never found. Some are found alive with some type of strange tale or story, and then some kids are found, deceased. Sometimes mutilated. And they, of course, there's an investigation. Um, there's a big investigation fall behind it of animals taking these kids or whatever case may be, but not all cases point to that. Then of course you have other things like sex traffickers. You see some of these videos on YouTube and the Facebook where you're standing in the market with your kid and somebody just literally just walk up and take your kid right at the cart, right in front of you, take him and walk away. You know, and and it's not some of those times they use women to do that. Just grab the hand of your child and walk away because children trust women, especially older women.
I just wanted to bring some more awareness to the fact that there isn't any advertisement unless you're really, really looking for it. So
Yeah.
one thing that I do know for sure that has been kind of a help is social media. And I'm so grateful that everybody is trying to do their job to find these missing children or missing people, period. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
bring some awareness to that part because I
Well,
do recall when I
yeah.
was growing up, and maybe you too, and Lil, when you was growing up, that and what you would see missing children on a milk carton, it would be on the news. It's just not as prevalent today as it was back then.
You have to ask yourself why. Seemed like something. There's a great shift in that, and it caught because you be on Walmart. Walmart used to have loaded across the walls. You walk in the entrance, and you barely notice it now. Like why? What happened? You know, and more what happened to these kids? Like where are the parents of these missing children and people? Why aren't they on social media? Yelling and my kid goes missing. The world will know about it. you know, I'm gonna set some stuff on fire. You're gonna know my kid is missing. So
I
I
mean, this
understand.
is true. I agree with you there. That is the question. Why aren't the parents talking? Why isn't the family saying anything? Or are they and they're just being silenced in a way?
Yeah, over kind of like silent through their social medias and everything. I've all the years I've been on Facebook and all my other platforms, I've only maybe right about a handful of missing people. Hey, this girl is missing, or this guy's missing. Only a handful of all the years.
The fact that the Amber Alerts that goes on your phone is not as many either.
Nope. But I guarantee there's a missing kid right now. As a driver, I do see certain alerts on billboards on the interstate that I travel. Giving descriptions of cars that are involved with this type of activity. But yeah, it's never like it used to be.
I don't know. I'm just curious to know and wish somebody could. I mean, I guess there is no answers unless you really, really seeking that,
Right.
seeking that knowledge. But I just wanted to bring some awareness to whoever is listening. Pay attention. See what's going on.
Yeah, pay attention to your kids.
Right now, yeah, that too. But we'll get to that in a little bit more. But I have noticed, I don't know if you know who she is. Chrissy Teigen has been in the news today. And the only reason why I'm bringing her up is because she's a little bit relevant to our topic today. But she has been getting backlash, like always, for the things that she says on Twitter. This time she was bullying a kid. Well, she's not a kid anymore. This girl is like 29, but she was 16 then when she was bullying her. The reason why I brought Chrissy Teigen up is because she has done in the past a lot of crazy things. Let's give you a background of who she is. Chrissy Teigen is a model, or she was a model. She is married to a man by the name of John Legend. Are you aware of John Legend?
Yeah. I know who John Legend is.
John Legend. Okay, she is married to him, and again, she does a lot of things that are a little bit controversial to what people, would think she is. Well, a few years back, she was on Twitter again, them Twitter fingers, doing some things that looked strange to people with children. She was into Toddlers and Tiaras. I don't know if you're aware of that show, but it's about girls or boys, some boys doing a beauty pageant or whatever, their little children, and she just was infatuated by it. Why are they so adorable? I want some pizza, just different things of coding that they would think of pedophilia. It was just a little bit too close for comfort, if I may say that. So that's why I was bringing her up. Again, like I said, she is in the news this time about bullying a girl that was 16 at the time, but she's 29 now. The girl finally talked up. And so that was just another thing about it that just was eerie.
Yeah. The thing about pedophilia is that people think when it comes to pedophilia, it involves men only. But there are a lot of women that are out here are pedophiles as well.
Absolutely. Some more
If they
than
want equal rights, we're gonna spread that equally
more
too.
women. Believe it or not, there are more women than men after I've done my research. Like, yeah,
Of
men is
course.
into it, but there are more women. You would think that that's not because the way the statistics show of women isn't sexual like men are, but they are way more than men. I have noticed that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. Women want equal rights. We're gonna share that too.
So ignorant. Anyway, moving on to the time difference of today. We wanted to talk about, or I wanted to discuss with you about how parenting is these days, how kids grow up these days, the struggle and the difference of how to be a parent or even the kids of today. I see you got me on mute, so let me continue.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Give me a second.
Okay. With parenting these days, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of background about me who do not know. I have 5 children and they range from the age of 5 to about to be 17. And with parenting, I have tried to go in a different method of I know each and every one of you are different individuals. You have your own feelings, you have your own beliefs. And so I try to adhere to that as much as I possibly can. The reason being is because growing up, not necessarily saying that my household wasn't like that, but it wasn't really like that. So I tried to take the approach of let's figure out what the problem is so that we can get to a resolution opposed to putting hands on people.
Nah, I say put hands on these kids. They bad. No, I'm joking. Are you still there? You gone silent?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Again, with today's kids. Okay. So our parents pretty much went through the same problems that we're going through as parents today. It's just what we call different times. Because if you notice, our kids do what we did when we were young, but maybe in some cases they're a little extreme and or something new because of the times. But the kids today are it's pretty much just a repeat of time. So let's say like
Okay, so let's go into what we were discussing earlier.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Okay. So we were discussing earlier the struggles of what they're into. Like for instance, let's just say I want to talk to my kids about the sex talk. Now for me, I have been talking to my kids for years, but for me, I try to do it age appropriately. Okay. The problem, huh?
What is the appropriate age to talk to your child about sex?
Personally, for me, because it is so prevalent now, I'm talking to my 5-year-old about her little parts and how to protect her little parts, and they know what they know the word sex, but they don't know the definition of it. So for me, with my little ones, it's an exercise between two adults that show love, and that's it. That's how I approach it. So I've been talking to mine since little, but I think it's the conversation of gender roles, I guess, if that's how I want to put it. Because I don't think my parents at my age, say 14, 15, starting to smell myself and they realize that it's time for the sex talk. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were thinking or considering, well, maybe she likes girls, or what is she really into, and how is this conversation going to go if she likes girls or she likes boys or if she likes both. It was just hey, don't have sex, protect yourself, STD, and don't have kids. That was the end of the conversation. But now you have to think of all that in a whole aspect of things.
Okay, so first, the whole thing with sex. All right, when it comes to then and now, to the whole gay thing or sexual orientation has always been around, but it was less talked about then, more talk about now because
It was
people
less
want to have
seen then also because I mean even you and I
because
what a
families.
30-year age difference, 20-year age difference. It was still less seen then than it is
Why?
now.
Why was it less seen?
I don't know. Everybody was just
Well,
scared.
that's what I'm trying to explain. Because see, back in the day, the neighborhoods were more people were more oriented in certain neighborhoods. They honored their neighbors. So to have a gay daughter or a gay son or a son or daughter who chooses a different sex preference was kept more secretive, even in the families. Even back then, child molesters were kept secret. You didn't hear that because if your uncle touched his niece, you kept it within the family. Versus today is something totally different.
Okay, but
You know,
like I was explaining to you earlier, which I'm going to put this out here so that everyone will know I love everyone equally. I do not discriminate against anybody. Please believe me.
oh yeah,
We were having this conversation about this lady whose son decided to become transgender, but
mhm.
she will not accept her son as a female. And what I was explaining to you as far as let's do it two ways. As a mother, I get it. I have carried you for 9 months. I have raised you to be this certain sex. That's all I see you as. I named you. This is the name I gave you. And now you're turning into someone else that I am not connected to. That could be scary on one end. And then on the other end, I understand the young lady's feeling is like, okay, I may have grown up that way, but I have not felt that way. And this is who I am now. And I want you to love me for who I am now. This is where the dilemma is with this day and age in this world, because you have the old school or baby boomers or however you want to call it, they're stuck in that one mind, and you got people like us who are in the middle who understand both sides, but it's still kind of, what do you do?
Well, you do nothing. That child is a human being, and all humans are born with rights to do what they want to do. I'm gonna play the devil advocate on this one because first of all, as parent, we don't own our children. I don't care if we give them down there. I got 9 of them, and we gave them all names, and we all expect them or give them an expectation of being a certain way. Don't go to jail. Don't do drugs. Don't have sex at the wrong age until you're ready, and all this other kind of stuff. We give them these expectations because that individual human child chooses not to do it. It rubs against the grain against the parent. But that child does have rights. So if your son or daughter says, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. And you as a parent even reject it. And if you really love your child, you support it regardless, because that is your child. And that is the decision they make. We are to guide them, the best way we can. Now, again, I'm a very devil's advocate, okay? Because I just think a certain way. You know me for years. So again, if a child, man or woman, decides to do something, who are we as a species of humans to say that's right or wrong? Who wrote the book that says at a certain age you should talk to this child about sex? Who said that? Because if it was another human, I'm gonna tell you go F off.
Okay, so listen. So okay, I'm gonna say it like this. We are ever evolving, okay? Evolving, however you want to put it. So the first person who probably went through that decided they were going to say something to their kid, and then that just kept going on and on and on. Personally, for me, I wanted to talk to my kids because I didn't want them to be blindsided by some things that I was when I first started, having intercourse.
That's perfect. Perfect. But what if the kid goes, I don't care, mom, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Then what?
Then that is up to them. But at the same time, you can't even say, even with 9 kids, you did not give them warnings of anything.
Oh, I told them every day, every single day,
then.
and it is proof that they do what they want to do. But I still love them. I did not oust them, and I didn't even talk about it because it is. And if they call me right now, I answer my phone. But to go out and say, I'm not going to, look, I raised you as a boy. I gave birth to you as a son. On your birth certificate, It is a son. I signed your birth certificate. I named you a male name, and you decide to go be a woman. You want to identify yourself as a woman? No, I'm going to oust you. I think
You're
this. I mean,
stronger
I
than most.
understand, but
This is why I say you're stronger than most in Lil, because again, you have those one track minded people, and I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it because normally it's you, but I'm just gonna say it. You have those one track minded people who have read the Bible and just think that it is a total abomination against
there
God,
it is.
and they're going to go
There it
to hell, and they don't accept it.
is. That's it, right there. Boom. You're right. Exactly. You're absolutely right about that. And again, when it comes to today's children and everything, and kids in general across the board, um, you know, we the bottom line is that we're gonna have to respect their decisions regardless whether they don't believe in our beliefs or not. Times are definitely changing and people are changing. And sooner or later, all this will become a thing of the
Pass.
past. Yep,
Mhm.
thing of the past.
Which is understandable. So now I'm going to bring in a couple of, I have a preteen and a teenager, and I just want to know if they have some opinion about how it is this day and age, because again, there is some differences that we do have, and we do need to learn how to not really mesh it, but figure out how to deal with it, not only as parents, but as people in general, because we are able to teach them, and they are, even though they're younger, there are things that they could possibly teach us. So right now we have Miss Tiana, and we have Amir. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hello.
All right.
Tiana, I know you've been
Hold on. First of all, Tiana and Amir, we do have their parents' permission to speak to them, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, just want to check, make sure. Okay, go on.
Tiana, how is it? Because you're a teenager, you're closer to an adult now. So how is it growing up? What is it, things that you see or confused about, or anything you want to teach us?
Yeah, how old is she? What's her exact age?
I'm
Sorry?
15.
16?
15.
1 6? 15, 1 5. Okay.
I'm not really confused on anything because I know I learned about it and stuff, but at first I kind of was, but now I feel like I'm well educated about some things.
Well, educated on some things.
Well, like y'all was talking about,
give us a little example, a clean version of the example.
Okay,
give us a clean version of the example.
Like I heard y'all talking about the sex talk and LGBTQ and stuff. Like I used to be a little bit confused, but now that I'm educated, I understand way more than I thought I did.
So this is my question for you, because like I said, me and Lil, or at least I can't speak for Lil. I didn't grow up, especially in a school that had transgenders, boys going in the bathroom with girls or anything like that. So could you give me some insight about that?
It could be confusing, like seeing a boy in a girl's bathroom and stuff like that. But I mean, people are people. They're gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna be who they want to be. So it's like you can't really say anything. I mean, yeah, you can have your opinions, but people are gonna be people, and you just have to live with it. Either you don't support it or you support it. Simple as that.
Okay. So in a society today, as a teenager, do you feel like you have rights? Do you feel like that you are being restricted to express your rights when it comes to situations like that? Was that too much? I mean, in other words, do you feel like that you can say what you want to say, and people will hear your voice?
Yes and no, because well, when you speaking to adults, they feel like if you say something, then they'll feel like you're disrespecting them. But
Hmm.
It's yes and no, because some people are different. They'll feel like if you say something to somebody, they'll feel like you disrespecting them and you're being rude. But some people can actually
Hmm.
listen and hear you out. So it's a yes
Okay.
and no.
Okay.
So do you have that outlet that, well, when I ask that, it's like, do you have that adult outlet that could possibly clarify some things for you, or um, I don't even know where I was going with that. Do you have that adult outlet that'll give you that understanding that you need?
Yes, I feel like I do. Yes.
Okay, Amir, how is it growing up for you?
It's kind of, well,
And
it's
how
like
old is Amir?
Amir is about to be 12 years old.
12 years old. Okay. So,
it's
so as a young man in society, Amir, how do you feel about everything that's going on, and do you feel like that your opinion matters when you voice your opinion?
um, it's it depends. Like
Hmm.
it depends, like what's going wrong, what's going right, and all that stuff.
Okay, so depending on the situation, where if you decide to voice your opinion, no matter what it is, you could be heard, and sometimes you feel like you're not being heard. It. I guess I want to ask you both, as teenagers, children, is it very hard to deal with adults of today?
Yes.
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 Yeah, I
And
can
what makes
imagine.
you say that? What makes you say that?
Um. Um. Let me think.
I can help you, Amir. Adults don't listen. They think they know everything. If you try to voice your opinion, they want to put you down and tell you what you should think, not what you are actually thinking. Sometimes they misinterpret what you're trying to say, and they feel like they're disrespected. Am I getting it close?
That's
Yes.
exact. Yeah. That. What?
Yeah,
That's.
I I totally understand.
I tried to say it that way, but I didn't want to.
Oh, you can say
Exactly. No, no, I understand him. He's trying to stay that way because, again, if a child speaks in that manner, not trying to disrespect the adult or go against what we want or our expectations, they feel threatened. The bottom line, these children today feel threatened. So they have no choice but to either lash out or turn to someone that we don't know that would do harm to them. Because see, that's the problem. These children do not have an outlet or an adult that they can trust and love other than their parents they can go to without being, you know, used and abused and touched and everything. And this is the problem with society. We as an adult get about, our childhood was like for us to be a kid. And this is why I get along with my children, I get along with other children that I've raised myself. I have 9 kids, but I've raised plenty other children. And and people always wonder, how can a child talk to me? Because I take my head out of my butt and stop thinking that I'm bigger than them because they are adults. They have opinions. These children on here have opinions. They have rights. If they want to speak their mind, they say they don't like something, regardless whether you were raised on it or whatever it may be, then that is their opinion. Remember back in the day, consistence where when our parents cooked dinner, you eat what was on that table or you didn't eat it all.
Yep.
But nowadays, if I had to cook for 9 kids, I had to cook 9 different things. Instead of saying, no, I'm cooking one thing and that's it, we're not going to eat. That's how the times are different. And so, I feel like if you 9 kids want something different to eat, get the person over there cook themselves. Save me a headache. Times change. We can't raise them the way we were raised, or we can't give them the same expectation. I mean, of course we can. Like, I want my kids to do good, go to school, get a job, raise a family. Don't be afraid of sex. Sex is a beautiful thing, but there's a time and a place and a responsibility for it. And we're not doing that. We're saying, oh no, we're not going to talk about that, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's go back, 400 years. What was the legal age for a child to have sex? 9. Okay? They're 9 years old. It was legal to have sex with a 9-year-old child. So the thing is that we as an adult are not listening to our children. Our children are afraid of us. The system, the institution, the schools, the colleges, these the other institutions, the jails, the reform schools, and all this kind of stuff, they're scaring that kid. They're scaring them out. We are victimizing our own children. And what's happening is that they're playing right into this system. They're playing right into their own problems, the death. So these kids are coming out going, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. And again, we as parents, we allow the government to tell us what to do with our own children, how to raise them, what to teach them, what they should eat, drink. You know, I think it just, the problem doesn't start. The problem isn't with the kids today. The problem starts at home. I was raised off that terminology, and I still use it today. If your kids have problems, it starts that there's something at home that's putting them out here like this.
So
am I getting it right?
What do we do about it to change? Okay, so kids, what do you think would be good to change this situation?
Actually listening to your child, having an open mind. I don't know.
So I can use two words: recognition and acknowledgement from the adults.
Just listening, basically, and working on stuff.
Like working on having a relationship, like it's your friend or something like that.
Can you say that again, please?
Working on a relationship, like it's your friend.
Okay, so I get that, but I kind of I got to do it. So I don't mind being your friend, but
but you still have to be a parent.
I have to it's in my heart to protect you from whatever it is that I can protect you from.
Okay, but so
there. For me, Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, right. You're right. You have to. There's you can't be your child's friend, but then you can. And if you want to protect them, you use the tools that's given to you. Because each child, all the children are not the same. Some kids you can be friends with and use that friendship to build up, to help them, guide them to be the productive adult in today's society. There's some kids you can't be friends because that individual child may take it differently and then will not listen to you when the time needs to become that the child needs to listen to you. You know what I mean? Because we as adults have to be negotiators, not dictators.
Okay.
This is what parenting is. We're negotiating. We are to negotiate, and we have to have a higher tolerance than our children. Tolerance is a key to a successful parent. Tolerance. If you cannot tolerate your child, if your tolerance is less than your child's tolerance, then you're done. You're not going to be a successful parent, and then your kid's going to do what the hell they want to do. You know, that's what it is. So we as an adult, see, it starts with us. So the child just asks you, kid just said something about being a friend. And the first thing you did was puff your chest. Well, I'll be your friend. No, you know.
No. Because that's not the thing. No, that's because you know me better than most. So that you know that.
Most parents
No. Let's just keep it all the way 100. Not everyone is friends with their kids. A lot of us have forgotten our past. Let's just keep that all the way 100. We forgot how we
Huh? You mean a lot of us suppressed our past? We ain't forget nothing.
Which means that we don't want to remember the things that happened when we were children. So we put certain stipulations on our children so they won't have to go through certain things. So,
but who are you to decide that? Your child's life is different than from yours.
That is true. But as a protector and a provider, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Who wrote that book say you're supposed to do that? Nobody wrote a book on this. There's no book out there.
There's no book for the child. That is a book. It is in a book.
That's a book. You know, I've almost spoke freely here in America. You know what? Okay, we're gonna go with that. Okay. We're gonna go with that.
Just saying. I get where you're coming from. So let me say this. Okay. So, unfortunately, some of us do make plenty of mistakes as just being adults, number one. And then on top of that, to have a child along with that, it does take a lot of, like you say, patience and tolerance and all those good things. There does have to be some type of form of friendship because, again, especially when you're that first child and you guys are trying to learn along the way, there's going to be plenty of mistakes, ones that you grasped onto because of your parents, or things that you shy away from your parents. So it is a learning thing in progress, so definitely understand that part. But also there it's a lot to it. You got to think of the different dynamics of it.
Yeah. So okay. So you said it's the learning process, but who's teaching you?
So let me ask you a question, because I have a question for you, because you do have 9 children.
Mhm.
From your first one to your
Mhm.
last one, with
Mhm.
your first one, how were you? How were you? Were you just still this same tolerant person?
I was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, I took my baby girl to the beach. She's now 30, but I took her to the beach as a little 1-2 year old, and having been a single dad with a daughter. Well, I didn't know anything about cleaning the flower and all that kind of stuff, and she got sick, blah blah blah. And then as she was being a bad little girl, I always thought like, spare the rod, spoil the child, that crap. And I spanked a little butt, but then I hit her too hard, hurt her little leg. And I'm like, I never beat my kids again, because beat my kids is not the way. And then I had my second child, which is different from her. And as I grew with that, from her being that 2 to 30, and then I can talk to her about from 2 to 30, I find most of my mistakes was me lacking in attention to what she was trying to say. This is where I learned how to talk to my last kids are growing up now. Because when they talk to me, when they say a certain thing, I hear what they're saying. That's how most kids talk to me. I can listen to both these kids on the phone right now and talk, and I know exactly where they're coming from and what they're talking about. And for what I do hear from the adult is something that I know they don't want to hear. It pisses me off sitting there listening to an adult saying it, and I'm an adult with kids. I'm like, how you want to say that? You're not hearing this child what the child just said. And if you listen to these kids on the radio, on the talk show right now, they're apprehensive. They want to speak, but they're like, and you can literally hear them pull back. What is that? Why is that? You understand?
Why is that? Why is that, Tiana, Amir?
Kids, speak free.
There's no right or wrong answer. You are free to speak however you want to speak. This is
y'all back. Say what y'all want to say. And little got y'all back. I got. Speak it up. Go ahead.
Because I feel like
you're free. Huh?
Get in trouble or something that we say wrong. If
you get in trouble, I'm gonna come over there. I'm coming up there with my cowboy boots on. You ain't gonna get in trouble. Speak your mind.
There is no right or wrong answer. Like, this is not. We're trying to get to understand, not just for us as parents, and Lil thinks he's mastered it, but for other parents that's having the struggle to understand their kids as well. Because you guys are living in a different time than we are. So for us, it's like we're looking at it through the lens of how we grew up, and it's totally different for you guys now.
Right.
Tiana?
Come on, girl. You almost legal. You can say what you want today. They can't do nothing. They can't tell you to shut up.
What you say?
I don't know what to say.
So okay, I'll help you out.
Did he hit anything on the head for you though? Do you feel like you're afraid to say things because you're scared you're going to say the wrong thing or get in trouble?
No, it's not that. One, I'm nervous. Two, I don't know. I feel like, I can say stuff, but I don't know if it will come out right, like how I'm trying to say it.
Say it just how you
want.
It will make sense. It'll make sense, and if it doesn't, we'll get to where it makes sense.
It's the
Don't matter if it doesn't make sense, it makes sense to you. It is up
Mhm.
to adults to interpret it what you are saying. That's what the problem is. You're afraid to speak because you think it's going to sound stupid, mean, disrespectful, whatever. Don't matter what other people's opinions do. Don't matter. It doesn't matter. Speak your mind, because if you do not, one day as an adult, you will not be able to speak for your own child. You will not be able to get a job. You will not be able to get that car when they tell you no, you can't get it. Like, what do you mean? No, I can't get it.
Or
You
better
got
yet, let me put it to you in adult terms as of right now. You won't know how to address your own voice in certain situations as an adult.
Mhm.
There's no need to be nervous. This is an open platform. You can speak your mind.
Right.
Okay.
So let me ask you this
Well,
question:
I
if
agree
you
with.
were a parent, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Amika. Go ahead. Say what you say.
No, you can go. You can go.
Okay. So
You
if
can
you
go.
were a parent now, as a parent, right? If you was a parent right now, how would you raise your child in the way you would want to be raised right now, or respected, or talked to, or listened to? How would you do that with your child?
That's a good question.
Hold on, I got a question. Do that go for both of us
Yeah.
or one of us?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
If
do,
you have a child right now, and you was raising your child, how would you want to how would you want to raise your child the way you want to be raised? What would you want us as an adult to expect from the adults and everything?
how I want to raise my child is like
Yeah.
when they feeling down or something, I would just want to talk to them and understand what they're saying or coming from, something like that.
Okay.
Like if
Okay.
they're
So
happy,
Yes.
if they're
so what
happy,
if the go ahead.
if they're happy, I just want to like spend some time. I'm the like how am I supposed to say this?
You want to add to that happiness, is what you're trying to say? Maybe?
Yeah, add to that happiness, something like that.
Okay. So does this feeling, does this involve just everyday life, like in school, your friends outside the street, or at home, or all of it?
Hmm.
It's okay. It is your time to shine. It is your time to shine. You have a voice. Put it out there, because we're listening. I'm definitely listening.
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Okay, it's perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine. You don't know, we know you know. But if you don't know, that's fine. But when you're ready, you got my number. Call me. I got you back.
Like
I'll be your voice.
if they're in school and failing, I won't even be mad. You don't even need school. All you need is math, reading, and that's it. Science and history is good to know, but you don't need that either.
You're absolutely right. Science history is good to know, but in certain times, it you may really need it. And I could talk to you a little bit more about that off air. But there's some things that are really important in life. But I did it. I did a small seminar on education in the institution of America. Okay. Um, so there's some things in life that we really do need that will get us through life. Really need. This is how some high school dropouts or some people when I went to school became millionaires or successful business because it was certain things that they knew. It is good to go through school and it's good to get your education as much of it as possible because evidently we are here to gain knowledge. Even if some of it doesn't make sense to us, we need it. Because you never know what you end up in life. Okay. Or your child may need it. And if you don't know it, how you going to teach your child? But I understand where you're coming from. I did not like school when I was growing up, and it was horrible, but I did it because that's what makes me successful. Not for myself, but for my children as well. That I didn't think I was going to have 9 kids, but glad I do have them, and I have the education to give them the education that they need, and I can understand them. But you're right. It's sometimes it feels that way, and it's perfectly fine to feel that way and to voice your opinion. How about how do you think today's society is when it comes to parents listening to children? What would you rate your parent on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What would you rate your parent on them listening to you?
I will
Speak freely.
I'll
Be
rate,
truthful.
I'll rate
I
a
would,
9
I would say
out of 5. I mean 9 out of 9.5. I meant 9
So
out.
your parent really listens to you and understands you. You have no problem with your parents at all. No problem. They understand.
was
They know
This
where you're
is
coming
both
from.
parents.
say
Wait a minute. This is both parents, not just one parent.
Right, right. Both parents.
a 5 or a
Both
6.
parents. A
5
5
or a
or
6.
6? Okay. What about you, Amir? You want to change your opinion?
My dad is it's like a 4. He always gets mad, and I don't like that.
Oh, okay. We gonna stick with 4. And how about mom?
Be truthful.
8. 8.
Okay. So as an adult myself that raised many kids, my youngest kid is 5. Also have a young stepdaughter. She is 4. Okay. I have 6 grandchildren. And you know,
Hello.
and what did you lose signal? Can you hear us?
No, yes, I can hear you.
So as an adult, so I almost lost train of thought. So anyway, yeah. So as that, I know as parents we're not perfect and everything, and we have a hard time understanding you guys as well as you guys have a hard understanding us. Okay, the best thing to do when it comes to adults for both of you two is to catch us at a quiet time alone and quietly talk to that parent. So if one parent is a 4, then you know that parent when this parent is at his or her low time, like when they're quiet. Go say, hey parent, can we talk for a minute? Sure, what's up? Well, you know, I feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, you're about a 4 because you're always mad. Well, why is that? And talk to your parents. Trust me, parents will respect you and hear you more when a child comes to talk to us. Now, if you go to your parents mad, crying, or whining or fussy, that frustrates us. Just trying to give you a little bit tidbit on how to talk to adults, regardless. Staying calm, making eye contact. When they speak, it be quiet. And if you feel like that they're not hearing you, don't get mad. Just say okay and walk away. And then go find the other parent to talk to, grandma, mom, auntie, or somebody that will listen to you. Because we as parents, we do hear our kids, but sometimes we're not perfect. We're not. And I mean, I don't know any perfect parent. I'm not. I raise a lot of kids, and I'm not perfect. Trust me. But I try my best, like all parents do. They all try their best. We all want the best for our kids. We don't want nothing to happen to you guys because there's a very dangerous world out here. There are people out here. Let me rephrase that. There are monsters out here. Literally, there are monsters out here, and I know that I don't want to go to like anything in that, but there are monsters out here. We trying to protect you from the monsters, and these monsters are not ugly creatures. They're beautiful people, but they will eat you alive and spit you out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely more. It's more. Anything you want to say or add?
No, I'm good.
Anything you want to ask an adult or anything to address, Tiana?
No, I don't think so. I don't
No
know. I can't think.
questions.
No, I can't think of any right now.
I only got one question. How hard is it being a parent?
Do you own a pet? Do you own a pet?
No, I don't own a pet.
You own a pet? So how hard is it? Well, being a parent is not hard. It's only hard where the communication between the child and the parent is either misunderstood or there's none at all. That's when it becomes hard. The hard thing about being a parent is not you as a child, it's us trying to understand you. See, we all have a responsibility. The adults have the bigger part of responsibility, but as a child, you have a responsibility too. And that is learning your parents, figuring them out. Instead of being mad at the parents and just walking away and blocking them out, try to learn them. We all have our weak spots and our down moments. You got to learn that. And when you learn that, you'll understand your parents. And if you understand your parents, you make your parents understand you. Because then you will speak our language. You understand? So if you go to a community of Puerto Ricans and they all speak in Spanish, well, you kind of feel out. But if you start learning to speak Spanish, you'll start understanding. Then You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say?
And then
So
you communicate.
it's not hard being a parent. I think the hard thing being a parent is that communication gap that we all have right there. And there's a communication gap in all the households because we got adult things to do. We got bills and significant others and things that we have to worry about. And as well as feeding you, clothing you, make sure that you stay protected. And and when you come to us with certain things, but it seems small to us, and we just block it out, or we just ignore it, or we just say, "Oh, it'll be okay." We push it away, and that hurts your feelings, and it makes you feel neglected. I understand that. All of us, we do understand that. But if you learn us, try to, as a child, figures out, I'm giving you the key here, so you get anything out of your parents, and we will listen. Um, and another thing is that in today's society, that we as parents, we forget about peer pressure because how many hours are our kids are out of our eyesight outside?
That is true. That is very true. That is
That,
so true. That's
that
why
kills.
I wanted to have a conversation with you,
Right.
you all, because there is a lot of peer pressure, and it's probably different than us, and it could be the same. And so, as like I said, for us to open our eyes to see what you guys go through, would you like to talk about some of the peer pressures that you deal with on a daily basis? Rihanna?
Um, me me personally, I don't feed into peer pressure. I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like I get peer pressure that much. I like, but I definitely do see it in some of my peers and in classmates and like cousins and friends and stuff. And I think that is really bad. It's really bad.
What is
But
it though? Like, what is the peer pressure?
like with some kids, like they see other kids smoking and drinking, and they think like they need to do that to be able to be cool or a part of like their group and stuff. And I don't I don't think it's okay. I feel like it's very bad and it can really mess up some people. But yeah, it's mostly with like drinking, smoking, having sex, all of that. That's mostly what I see peer
So
pressure in.
basically, it's still the same. It's still the same as when we grew up, huh? Lo?
Yeah, exactly. It's
So
exactly
Yeah,
the
let me
same.
yeah.
ask this question: when it comes to the drug aspect, is it just the smoking, or are they and drinking, or is it are they going into like pills or anything of that sort? Do you know
You talking to
I
anything?
me?
don't really see it. I don't really hear it about pills, but yeah, it could be, yeah.
Okay.
I got a question.
Go
So,
ahead.
like, what did y'all want to do when y'all were kids and wanted to be an adult?
As an
Say that
adult.
one more time.
So as a kid, for me, I personally was into music because that's what I did in church. And I wanted to grow up and be the person behind the scenes that was a songwriter. That's what I wanted to do when I grew up. What about you, Enlil?
So he want to know what I want to do when I was a kid as an adult.
Yeah.
Oh, blow things up, set things on fire. I want to be a scientist, causing that and reaction. I want to be a
Causing
scientist. So yeah, causing that. Yeah, I want to be a scientist. I want to be an oceanographer. I want to be an astronaut. Different things. I knew this from early on in my childhood, and and even when I was a kid, I did that. I never got involved with a lot of the normal street activities that today's kids or the kids didn't get involved with because it didn't. It was all about my interests. Um, and of course, I found adults who kept me on that track and got to where I need to be today. You know.
And I didn't. Unfortunately, I was the effect of the cause of peer pressure. And now I'm trying to get back to a different reality of mine. So you have some of the parents that stayed on the right track and kept it going, and you got some that fell off but trying to get back. So this is why when Enlil says it is important to understand your parent, you definitely do. You have to understand where they come from so that you guys can have that communication and meet each other in the middle.
Exactly. 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 Especially today's time.
because there are a lot of parents who came from a struggle, whether it be their own or their household. You get what I'm saying? So they have different emotional attachments, mental instabilities, physical problems. It's a lot to it. So especially when they have, let's put it this way, when a lot of the parents have emotional problems on top of children, they don't even know how to deal with their own emotions and then have a child on top of that. If they're
Exactly.
trying to be a parent that's healing and trying to be better, and at the same time trying to be a parent, that can be a lot on a parent. So therefore, again, that communication, that is very important, because at least I don't know if I've said this to you, but I think I've said this to your brother. You have to learn a person and their past in order to understand who they are and why they are the way they are.
Yeah, but children can't do that at an early age, even
No, no,
at
no,
their age.
no. That's why I said I
But I
didn't say.
understand what you're saying. Yeah, I
Sometimes.
definitely understand
Hmm.
and everything. Because as for me, as a young man growing up as a child, I didn't have a dad. He lived like 3 blocks away, and mom, she only had a very low education, about 8th grade education, and it was a poor neighborhood. So I decided not to be that person, you know, like my parents. I have a lot of kids, and even to today, I tend to my kids and my grandkids. Even to today, and they're all adults. I have 2 teenagers left and 2 little young ones. Um, and stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that even with today's society, whatever your goals and dreams are, you know, um, um, follow your goals, follow your dreams, and surround yourself with people who doing positive and saying positive things, and you'll be just fine.
Those people that are like-minded as you
Yeah,
or have a better mind than you that you can learn from them. Those are the
exactly.
people that you want to be attracted to always. You
Yeah,
always want to have some type of mentor to look up to. Not to
right.
actually aspire to be, but the way of their path of their mindset, they don't deter from what they're trying to get to. They have a positive outcome on things, whatever it is, because everyone, I don't think it's not one person in this world that does not have some type of struggle, but see, look at how they deal with that struggle. That's the part that you want to see.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Any questions that you guys may have for us? I know. No.
I don't. No, I don't have any questions.
Come on, Tiana. You don't have to be nervous now because you have a lot of questions behind the scenes. I need you to ask these questions up front. This is not only for you, it'll help all the teenagers around you and the kids that are coming up. So these parents and teens can understand each other back and forth. Let's break this cycle. No? Did we cover all bases?
We can
Tiana?
bring them later.
Yes, I think we talked about.
Huh?
Yes, I feel like we talked a lot about the situation and stuff, and I agree.
Okay. And Lil, you said bring them back with another panel of kids as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about something different too. So we'll go behind the scenes and talk about that. Well, I really want to thank our guests, Amir and Tiana, for joining us and giving us a little insight about you guys. And for you, hopefully you got a better insight with us. Me and Lil are going to close out the show, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
Tiana?
thank you.
All right.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
All
you.
right.
No, thank you. Thank you.
And that is the show for today. Thank you for consistently rolling with Consistent and LL. Hopefully, we
All
have
right.
opened up some doors and some ears and some eyes of better understanding of how to raise our kids and how to communicate with our children. I know I for sure did. And Lil, you want to close
That's
us
right.
out?
That's right. In the great words of Lil Nas X, tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me in the morning. Anyway,
Bye.
I see ya.